All right, let's talk about Jordan Love, who had a very interesting performance. I think a lot of people will come away with this saying he was like awesome and amazing. I didn't really see that from him. I didn't think he was poor necessarily, although I do have weirdly more negatives to talk about from his performance than positives, but not really because I thought that this was a bad performance. It's more so just simply that I feel like there's more negatives to talk about than positives, just like interesting plays on that side of the field. Because, like, at the end of the day, when you hit a throw, when you make an accurate throw, he did that consistently, but I don't want to just show like 7 of those plays because that would get repetitive and I want to move on. But I thought this was overall a pretty good performance. I did had some, he looked like a rookie at times. I thought this was like a good rookie performance is what I would say. He's not technically a rookie, but he kind of is. I think the stats are a bit inflated, but I also think that he did some nice things. So yeah, let's just get into it. Let's start off with this play, a very simple play, but one of those you kind of have to hit, I think. And again, we're going to see this a couple times where I'm not exactly sure if this is Jordan Love's fault or just a Packers offense in general's fault, but either way, it's something Green Bay is going to have to clean up, where the play concept itself is relatively simple. You're just running a quick play action over the middle, right? You run the play action, get linebackers out of position, hopefully, then you can throw in between them or over them. Simple enough. Jordan Love takes the snap, he runs this play action, and is immediately ready to throw. The one thing I would say is that he's throwing a bit off balance here, and part of me does wonder if this is just a missed throw, because he's not really getting his feet planted the way he probably should. As you see, he throws it behind the receiver, but part of why I'm still leaving an asterisk on this is I don't know if this was actually supposed to be just a curl route, and he was expecting his receiver to stay there and not move over the middle. Usually when you do these routes, you have the receiver run over the middle, so I'm assuming it was just a missed throw. That's my guess, but it is just a guess at the end of the day. But like I said, regardless of how you feel about it, it's just a play that they have to get done at a certain point. Also, this play where what's going to happen is that this is going to be it's a 3rd down and 3, and it's man coverage. That's the concept here. And there's another angle of the play itself that I'm going to put on the screen. Right here, we're going with a pitcher-in-pitcher situation here. Don't do this too often, but every now and then the situation warrants it. Because I want to show both Love and the receiver on this play, and we don't have all 22 footage, so this is what we got to work with. But you see where his receiver is lined up, and it's a one-on-one matchup. Not on the outside because they're not. There's another outside receiver there, but a one-on-one matchup. As you see, Love is going to take the snap right here. He looks over, and, there's a window to make this throw. And to Love's credit, he is making this throw at the proper time. Like, when I first saw it, I was wondering if he waited too long to make the throw. But no, like, this is, he's in the throwing motion as his receiver is cutting. That's usually what you want to do. So this is, so far, pretty good. However, the throw itself just doesn't really have a ton of zip on it, and also isn't as far enough to the outside, which gave the defender time to come back and make a play, which is obviously not ideal. So for Love, it's a bit of a timing thing and a bit of a just understanding how the NFL works thing, I think is what he kind of needs to do. Just kind of get more reps, which, he will, obviously, but these are the growing pains you're going to have with a young quarterback. Also, this one is one that a lot of people were not blaming Love on. They were blaming the tight end on. And, I kind of get both arguments. This is another one of those, like, I'm really not exactly sure who deserves the blame here. Let's talk about what the play was, which is it's going to be a zone coverage play. It's a cover 3 zone, and there's only one eligible receiver on the line on that side of the field. The other guy is a halfback. So the fact that there's a blown coverage here is completely baffling to me. It's like you had like 3 guys to cover one guy, and none of you are going to do it. Watch how when this play begins, it's Luke Musgrave, that is the tight end who is here. He is completely open. I mean, you could see the corner tells a linebacker to pick that up. And like, no, that's not the linebacker's job. That's your job. You're supposed to pick that up. That's just a blown coverage. Wide open. Now, to me, this is more of a communication issue than anything else. I don't think this is just a straight-up misthrow. I definitely don't think that. I think that Love is expecting Musgrave to just continue running. Musgrave is saying, hey, I'm wide open. Let me turn around, make this an easy throw and catch. As you see, the throw is way past Musgrave, and the reality is they just need to have better communication. They just need to know what each other is doing. There's no right answer. The right answer is when you both answer it correctly, right? It's like newlywed game rules, where it's like all you got to do is be on the same page here, and the fact that they weren't was why that ended up not being a touchdown, and they only got a field goal on this drive. They could have gotten a touchdown had they just hit there, because there was, the safety was on the other side of the field. That was a touchdown if they can convert there. Also, this play is another important one. So this was later on in that same drive. Love got kind of blindsided by that sack, which maybe you could argue, listen, it's not a good sack to take. It's not. The play had been going on for a minute at that point, but he just didn't see Ngakoue. He thought he could get to the outside. He made a mistake. To me, I'm not really going to crush you too much for that one. Here's where the issue arises. So there's 31 seconds on the clock. It says 2nd and 10, but it's actually 3rd and 10. It just hasn't updated yet. So 3rd down, or a little bit more than 3rd and 18 or so. That's what the official down is. The problem is Green Bay only has 1 timeout left. So you could take it now. If you had 2 timeouts, you would take one now. But if you take it now, that puts you in a really tough spot where you have to make sure that if you decide to run another play, you can't stay in bounds. You have to get out of bounds or pick up the first down because you can no longer spike the football. So because of that, Green Bay wants to hurry up and run another play now, right? You have time, 31 seconds, run up, even just run the ball, make it an easier field goal. The issue is just how long it took Green Bay to do this. I mean, look at how, when they finally are in position, when Love took the snap, there were 5 seconds left on the clock. That's what they were looking at. That was not a ton of time at all. To the point where if there wasn't a smart timeout called there, I don't know if they get another playoff. I think they might have actually cost themselves 3 points. So smart timeout, and they still ended up kicking the field goal, so it was no harm, no foul. But you got to work with more urgency there. It ended up taking over 25 seconds to make that happen. You get 40 seconds typically, so you got to move with a bit more urgency there and make something happen. I don't know if that's Love's fault. I have no idea. Maybe he was waiting on they cut away to the replay of the play, so maybe a receiver was slow in getting back or something like that. It's impossible to say, but knowing the information we know now, I think it's fair to at least put some blame on Love. But despite all of those negatives, there absolutely were plenty of positives as well, of course, goes without saying, and let's just show some of the positives. Starting off with this play, this is probably the key positive play where it's going to be a man coverage play. You have Aaron Jones just running a quick route over the middle. Watch how when this play begins, that's where I believe Love wanted to go to right off the bat. I don't think he was ever going to go anywhere else. He did look somewhere else at first, but I think that was just in case someone was covering over the middle of the field to get them out of position. But still, this is not the easiest of throws. You want to make sure you get the completion. That's what matters. Again, situation is so important. This is a 4th down and 3. You have to, at the very least, get a first down right here. That has to happen. If you get a touchdown on this play, cool, but you need the first down. But watch Love's throw. That is a perfect throw to where Jones can make the catch and continue running. And yes, yards after the catch to some degree are fluky. And I think a big chunk of what happened, Love had a couple of plays in this game that were, definitely stat bolsters, right? Stat boosters in this game. That happened. And, I do think that that's probably why I'm maybe not as impressed with Love's performance as some other people were. I watched the game, didn't just read the box score, and there was some negatives and some relatively easy throws that resulted in big gains, like the quick screen pass to get 40 yards to Jones earlier, a big completion to a tight end who had no one within 50 yards of him later on, but also plays like this where he just, he really was, hitting some throws at times and, making plays. Also, this one's another one where, Love's basically just going to look up and say, oh, wait, there's a one-on-one matchup on the outside. All right, let's just make this throw happen. Let's get the touchdown right here. As you see, he takes the snap, and, this is a beautiful throw. That's exactly where he wanted it to be. So, again, while there were some misfires, it's kind of the story of Jordan Love in a lot of ways. He's not a perfect quarterback. He's, to me, never had a game where he just looked perfectly on for the entirety of the game, including his college career. But every game he shows you why he was a first-round pick and shows you the upside, and this game included, and really was a big reason why they were able to score as many as they did. So yeah, those are kind of my thoughts. Again, I have a feeling Packers fans are going to be a little bit disappointed. I wasn't as excited about certain things as maybe you were. I just, I say how I evaluated the game. I mean, that's how I do it. And I felt like for the most part, he missed some throws, he made some rookie mistakes, but also had some really impressive throws and did the obvious stuff. Made the throws he had to make for the most part, right? There were some wide open windows. Bears defense wasn't great, but as a whole, just a great win for the Packers, and they should be very excited about what the future holds. And so definitely that's kind of my thoughts on this performance. An up and down, but overly positive performance from Jordan Love. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.